Hi, welcome. On this video, I'd like to take a couple minutes to talk about this picture of change that's offered up by many who advocate training as a learning-based exercise. Okay, now here's the thing to understand about this group, and it's a large group, okay, who are trying to promote a certain picture as meaningful, which means that, for example, you'll see in the home environment, you'll see them on the scene where these dogs are kind of free-flowing, okay? They're moving around other dogs, and people are touching on the other dogs. They're all happy. And from that interaction, okay, they're trying to, pass that off as though they have a level of influence over the dog or a level of control. And again, I talk about this issue of control, but they're trying to paint that up as the dog is balanced. And in reality, that dog's actually holding control, okay? The motives are rotten to the core. But what you're seeing, you're not seeing a full picture, okay? So when I talk about transparency with a lot of this, those that promote training this way, you're not going to see it, okay? Because they can't do it without it being a problem to them, okay? And what I mean by that, again, if you look at the struggles that dog owners have, you look at those interactions, okay? You start to connect these dots properly, you'll start to really get a better sense as to what I mean. So for example, when people start to struggle with issues about behavior problems, dog starts to gain control, okay, in the relationship. The motives start to get wobbly, okay, they start to become rotten. You'll see even in the walk itself, that becomes a problem, unless the dog's walking out in front, because there's the thing, the dog's going to seek out and start to take position. And not just physical position, it's about it's mind and body, okay, it's relational position. And so this is why, if you put pressure on that dog owner, say get your dog in beside you on that leash, you'll start to see the dog start to go into high challenge, okay? Because again, the dog, it's not just about that interaction. You'll start to see that where the problem is. But again, here's the thing. You'll see a lot of these trainers, if you listen to their language, okay, they use the word comfort, okay? Well, here's the thing to understand about control is dogs are very comfortable so long as they're gaining power in the relationship. They start to gain control. This is why the picture oftentimes is completely upside down, okay, because the motives of the dog aren't being exposed within the home environment. You see these dogs, you'll see these trainers do this, you'll see these dogs free-flowing around, and everything looks great from the surface, okay, but you're not seeing the motives being exposed because it can't happen that way, okay? You won't get a full picture that way because, again, it's about this issue about control. All the cards have to be put down on the table. You have to force the cards down to make sure you're connecting the dots properly. So, for example, these dogs are free-flowing. They'll be completely in control, okay, because that owner is not defining the relationship, okay? They're not putting the relationship to the test that way. Okay, so that picture, again, you can't trust that picture. And here's the thing. This is why you don't see these trainers get these dogs on leashes, again, to actually, expose the relationship that way. Because I guarantee you, if these trainers bring these dogs under reasonable influence, okay, and this is why, again, when I define this position right beside me, just understand that's the setup, okay, that's the position that you want to happen to start to change the perceptions of the dog, because I define that relationally, okay? So, but here's the thing about these trainers, you don't see them doing that. And if they try to do it, they're gonna have serious problems, because that's the whole point of this, okay, is understanding about the picture. What does a picture really mean? Again, I talk about response. Even when dogs start responding to the human, again, you have to be able to uncover the motives, because it's all about motives, it's all about control, who's in control of what, and understanding how to frame that up. So, but again, you have to go further than just what's offered up through a very tightly controlled picture, okay? And again, this is why if you want to really put it to the test, the dog, you have to see how the dog's responding to what's reasonable, okay? Being brought under leadership, okay? And then you're gonna be able to connect the dots properly. So again, just wanna put that out there, because again, a lot of people get really confused, or and this is how these trainers operate. They manipulate that picture that way. They'll just show you, it's very piecemeal. They'll give you a little glimpse, okay, of an interaction, okay, and they're using treats, and they're building this bridge this way. They're making these connections. But again, you're not seeing the real deal, okay? This is why you don't see them, okay? It doesn't matter. People can take whatever, but again, just put it to the test. Ask them. Okay, I want to see this, this, and this. I want to see the dog on the leash. I want to see the dog being brought under control, okay, around other dogs. I want to see how this frames up. And this is why, again, you'll see these trainers using these loose leashes, okay, because, again, it's about their comfort, right? Saying, oh, make the dog comfortable. Well, no, the dog's in control, okay? The dog's very comfortable having control. It's not about that. It's about their comfort based on their ideology about how they want to think about what training is to them. But it's all about their emotions. Just understand that. So this is why this is such a mess for people to gain any sort of momentum with creating change with dogs, because they're seeing, they're taking certain, kind of piecemeal pictures, and they're trying to, cover off. They're trying to take that, and that's not how it works, okay? And then they're trying to, blame the dog or make excuses for it. Well, no, what's happening is the dogs are in control all along. Within certain interactions, you can see certain devices. That's why I say don't use certain devices like the pinch collar. Dogs can hold control. You can bring the dog in physically, but see, it's how this all sets up. Just understand, it's really important to step back from this stuff, and you have to be able to get like a three-dimensional view of the relationship, okay? It's really, really important, because again, here's the point. If you go into my videos, you'll see me testing the motives of the dog at all points, okay? All points. I'm testing the motives of the dog. You'll see me use the leash a certain way, and there's a reason for that, okay? It's really important, okay? It's about changing perceptions of the dog. But these other trainers, you're not going to see that all points thing, okay? Not at all. You won't see it. Because here's the problem. It's very problematic for them to do that, okay? Because based on how they approach training. So anyway, I just want to put that out there. Really important to understand. It's about motives. It's about control. It's about the picture. And it's about, the motives of the trainers that are doing this. Their motives are, and that's why I don't give them any slack, because it's about intent, okay? When they're doing this, and again, I don't give them slack, because I'm saying, well, they're being very intentional they're misleading people. Because again, that's the idea about training, okay? Because again, this sets it all up so that people can't overcome behavior problems, because the motives aren't cleaning up, okay? It's not truly coming together properly. It's not covering off properly. It's not relationally defined properly, okay? It's all about just how these trainers feel about it. And again, these dogs, you're dealing with control issues here, back and forth, but dealing with motives. You have to really be able to piece this together properly. So anyway, just want to put a video out about that. When you see these trainers, because I got questions about this, saying, well, Dale, look at that. That looks really good, what this trainer's putting out. And I'm saying, no, they're not, they're not, the cards aren't on the table, okay? They're just piecemealing it. And they won't show it, okay? So that's just how they operate. But again, just really important. And again, I tell people, you want to challenge everything. Don't take my word for it. You put what I say to the test, and you'll see whether it lines up or not. But you have to be able to step back to understand how all these dots connect. Control is a big issue with dogs. Motives is huge. And these trainers that are promoting this learning ideology, they're not stepping back to look at behavior that way. They're not looking at dogs that way. They're not looking at the motives. They're not looking at response and how that lines up. All they're doing is taking this picture and they're making assumptions. And that's, that's why you get this disconnect between the training environment and reality. And then people wonder why they're still dealing with behavior issues with dogs. Well, because relational change never happened. Okay, even though it might appear to be in this piecemeal type of picture, it never happened. So anyway, thanks for watching.